Hello, this is a video response to a video I just watched by Johnny Candito. Basically, the title of the video is Why YouTube Athletes Are Not the Best Athletes. Why the athletes that are famous on YouTube aren't really the strongest or the fastest athletes. I think this is a very interesting video, and it could be related to not just the athletic field, as Ronnie talked about. A lot of people are very strong, but they don't appear to be, or they don't get recognized on YouTube. So you just gotta recognize the relationship between the image and the simulation on YouTube, on the internet, of that person and that person himself in reality. The two could be connected and they could be separated. You just gotta distinguish and connect. So let me give you an example. I was watching an interview given to the directors of The Matrix by Keanu Reeves. He was asking them the question about how a lot of people are criticizing not just their movie, but a lot of movies that are made today, which involves a lot of special effects and animations, and the characters are, not they're digitalized. And he asked me if whether or not they have a problem with this, and whether or not they accept the animated character, or the characters are piled up on top of special effects after special effects. Do they consider them to be, real characters that emits emotions and carries out stories and shit? And they said, of course, they have no problem with this, because that is just how the way cinemas have evolved to be, and that is the way reality has evolved to be. And the directors of The Matrix gave an example where people back in the days, when there's stage plays, so everything is acted out live, right? You watch the stage play and you see the raw people in the raw flesh, and they act it out in front of you. And you can't get any more raw than that. They're in front of you, and it's part of the same reality. And he's saying that the move from that level of reality to the next level of reality slash simulation is normal cinema, even without special effects. Just editing. He said that a huge part of a performance in cinema, what makes cinema work, is that it was done by editing. But the move from that level to the next, from the cinema to the digital age, it follows the same sort of logic. It's just a step above, a step beyond, that level, another level of simulation, which is part of the reality today, right? It's part of the story we're telling. It's part of how we tell stories, and it is part of cinema. That's how cinema's evolved. It's same with YouTube, and not just strength. I mean, if you look at people like me, Z's, or even myself, or a lot of people on YouTube, they create or generate an image. He's manipulated the lightings. He's manipulated the camera angle. He's manipulated the maybe information about himself. Is this guy naughty or half naughty? That you just gotta take the information, the image that the YouTuber is stacking on top of his actual flesh with a grain of salt. And if you do that, you could first of all distinguish the difference and accept that difference is part of how reality is today, which, as I said again, is in reality today is simulation and digitalized image stacked on top of one next to another, and that gives rise to the totality of what we call reality today, right? And if you look at it like that, well, okay, fine. Are you inspired by Mad Ogres or Z's, even when their image is the reality for you? Even if you never met Z's, all you know about Z's may be sort of quote unquote fabricated by Z's through the internet. Could you get inspired by just that image alone? And if you could, I don't see why not. If I look bigger and more aesthetic, because I understand certain angles, because I study filmmaking, and the way I edit my videos make my image look more stronger, make my jumps look faster or higher than real life, and you watch that image and you get stimulated in your mind by the image, well, there's nothing wrong with it, right? The information presented to you, which might be manipulated, is still being manipulated by me, which is still part of me. It's just this different layer of reality, which is still part of that same totality, that same whole. Anyway, so moving on to the next point. Why is it that the best athletes, the most aesthetic people, the most creative, the most gifted people are not the people that you know? Well, first of all, who are the people that you really know? The people that are really legitimately famous, the people that you see on TV, you hear on the radio, they're not the best artists. They're really the best artists. Why? Because you gotta look at the bell curve. If you're in the middle of the bell curve, or the bell curve goes like this. If you're in the middle of the bell curve, right there, if you have to connect or reach the most people, that means that everybody that you reach, most people that you reach are gonna be average. It's just mathematical statistics. The number one best-selling movies in the box office are just really rarely the best movie in terms of quality or artistic quality or creative qualities out there. The movies that are praised by most critics are not the ones that you're gonna see, being on top of the box office, right? It's just that if you're gonna reach the general mind, if you're gonna reach the common mind, you just gotta sacrifice some of integrity or artistic originality for that. Because not everyone is ready for that next level shit. And also, as Johnny talked about in his video, you have to be a lot more than just the raw ability of whatever task you're involved in to be well known. Some really brilliant artists or athletes say that they're really good at what they do, but they just can't handle like the normal shit in life that get your name out there, right? They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to, make people like them. They don't know how to, they don't know how to enter the common mind. So there's like a sacrifice they have to make. You look at all those N1 street bowlers that are like jumping 45 inches and having those crazy crossover. They're quick as fuck, but they're not in the NBA. It's all the reason I've stated above, right? Maybe their athletic power prevents them from playing a team. Sucking up to the coaches. Talk in a manner that the general public would accept. Aphex Twin was asked in an interview one time, like, he said that you are the most creative, like either right before you make the best work, either right before you are famous or just a little bit after. Because after you get really big, what's gonna happen? You're gonna start to worry about so many different minds, other than your own original creative mind or the small niche circle of people that that you make work originally for, right? You gotta worry. The moment you start worrying about the common denominator, the common mind, the more your originality or your authentic creativity is going to suffer.
What can I speak of? It must be passed over and he said it! What can I speak of? Nothing about that stand!